Today is July 27th, and the Yankees game is canceled, but we got a bunch of voicemails, and there's a scary situation in baseball, and we got a bunch of voicemails, so we're going to do that. Let's do it. Let's talk Yanks. Where's it coming? Okay. Little mistake. Wow.
Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY, Jake. Recaps galore and weekly awards. Stat lines, stupid hot takes. Get your Yankees news with these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY, Jake. Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY, Jake.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Talkin' Yanks. My name is Jimmy. Sitting right next to me is Jake, and in the corner is BBD. We got a voicemail episode today. The Yankees game has been canceled. We're recording this on Monday night. The Yankees game was canceled Monday as Miami, 40% of their roster. I giggle, not because it's funny.
Out of ridiculousness.
Because it's ridiculous. Came down with Corona. They were in Philly. Yankees are going to Philly. They cancel that. So that's the situation there. I don't know how much we want to get into that, Jake, how much you want to or don't want to. We can do it. We can not do it. I think we have a voicemail that leads us into it. 2 voicemails that lead us into it. So just don't talk about it yet.
Yeah, it's the Timothy Oliphant in the room. So we'll talk about it a little bit. It obviously sucks. And
that was pretty quick. How many times have you used that?
What do you mean?
Oliphant sounds like elephant. It took me a while. I was like, what's the connection? And then I realized it was a pronunciation thing.
He's pretty good. He's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Justified's awesome.
Yeah. He was in what was the Leo movie that came out? He's in the Western scene.
Yeah, he's the star.
So there's that. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. Obviously, a scary situation within baseball and just outside of baseball in the world with the Yankees, and the Yankees game gets canceled tonight. So we'll obviously address that. And it's a little bit of a bummer. I mean, running so hot from a sports weekend, and Mondays just felt like this glut of not excitement. But that's what Talking Yanks voicemail episode is all about. So we'll take some voicemails. Dan Slotnick on the intro song. How about that?
Shout out, coming to you live from the Roosevelt Studios here in the Bronx, RSVLTS. I mean, they're about to send us a whole gang of stuff.
Yeah, you're about to see the whole Roosevelt's collection. They said, hey, BBD's got his El Mago shirt on. They said, hey, we're gonna send you guys some stuff, and we almost got nervous. So maybe we'll give some stuff away too. So. Voicemails?
Yeah, let's just dive right in. Here we go. Here's the first one.
Game's canceled.
Hey guys, it's Jack from DC. First time caller. The Yankees-Phillies game just got canceled, which sucks, but I think it was definitely the right move. I think now is crunch time because if the MLB steps in and has a plan and we get through this, I feel a lot more confident in baseball's ability to handle COVID. But if they don't have a plan, I think the season gets canceled real quick. However, I'm trying to stay optimistic, and listening to you guys definitely helps. I love what you guys do. I listen to almost every one of your shows. And yeah, go Yankees.
Well, thank you for tuning in and listening. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, they had to cancel it tonight, and they can easily do a doubleheader. They can do something in the future. Every team's close, but had to cancel the game tonight. You gotta. They were like, we're going to not use their clubhouse attendance. We're just going to use our own. That's smart. But instead, why don't you just, fumigate that entire place?
Yeah.
Let it breathe a little bit, and then go in there, or maybe use a different clubhouse. You know, my hockey team used to get changed in the crowd, in the stands, because the locker rooms were so tiny and shitty. You just do that. No one's there. Who cares?
Yeah. And
even if they fumigate it, I think if I'm a Yankee, I'm like, I'll just change in the hallway, man. I don't care.
I like to work backwards on things, and it's... Just think about if anyone from another organization, the Yankees, as they visit Philadelphia, were to go into that stadium and they end up with COVID. I mean, it would be just mass hysteria and an absolute nightmare. So you have to put the kibosh on that. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know if this is lazy Yankees fan thinking or if this is just, I don't know, having some common basic knowledge, but just move all the games to the stadium. Let the Phillies be home games for 2 of them, whether you do a doubleheader tomorrow or however you do it, or if you can push a game later in the season and do a doubleheader. But
that's smart.
There's no reason to be in Philadelphia right now.
That's smart, Jake. It was a 2 at 2.
It was discussed in the office. That wasn't my idea, was it? Did I take that from someone? Do I owe you credit?
You and I were talking about it.
Okay,
together.
it came up. BBD gets.
Yeah, they're doing 2 in Philly and
assist.
2 at the stadium, so why not? Yeah. But then you may say the Phillies are contaminating the stadium.
Yeah, so I think we're waiting to get test results back on the Phillies, and that's.
Do you think
the
they
main
may
part.
cancel 2 games?
Maybe. I don't know. I think we need to get tests back on the Phillies player, so, we should have the test from 2 days ago or whatever it was tomorrow. Tough doing time travel like that.
I think they got like an emergency set of like rapid tests that
Okay.
they're going to get the results back tonight.
Which seems like a good solution. So we'll see. I don't know. Bring both teams to the stadium for now if the Phillies pass their tests and everything. As this story came out, for those of you that didn't have your hand on the pulse of it or if you've just heard through whispers, the Marlins received news of positive tests on Sunday. I believe it was 3, which, again, you don't want to undermine the severity or significance of that, but they decided to play. They had like a team vote from what it sounds like. And if you give players the chance to play baseball, that's what they're going to do. And now that's how it seemed to spread. So we'll see on that. We'll see how the rest of the tests come back for the Phillies. And then, hopefully we can move forward and this ends up looking like a scare on the radar by the end of this. But who knows, man? Who knows?
Is there an echo somewhere?
Echo.
I'm hearing things.
Is it coming through here?
Hello. Yes.
Yes. Shove 'em up your butt. Oh,
Ha 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 ha.
next caller. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the next caller is also on this scare. Is there? You said there's another one?
They're the one I told you about is the one labeled "Play this first" in all caps.
I don't have that.
I sent you another set.
Okay. Play this first. So I
Wise
didn't.
guy, eh?
I didn't play the correct one first.
It's the same idea as that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you want it to go first?
I would have preferred this one first, but
Okay.
it is okay.
I can't even find another email from you, so I'm starting to think.
It's a reply.
Oh wow! Wow, we. Okay, I don't think I can grab it. I played the wrong one first. Here we go.
We're good.
I got it. I got it, Jake. Don't even worry about it. This one's the first voicemail of the episode.
John Carlo. Sorry it's been so long, boys. Happy talking, Yanks. It's TD. And yeah, that was a hook reference. I'm calling to talk a little bit Garrett Cole. But first, something hit me over the weekend. Does Jake look more like David Hale than T. Wade? Anyways, on Thursday night, I think Garrett Cole kind of sucks. And you know what? That's a good thing. He ended up with a great stat line, but without Angel Hernandez and the Nats being a little bit too aggressive, that game could have been an ugly first start as the Yankees, but it wasn't. And that's why he's an ace. He battled, figured it out without his best stuff against the defending champs. That was a gritty series win, just how I like him. Great start to the season. You're excited. I'm excited. Cole's excited. I feel like the Lost Boys when Pan came back to Neverland. Baseball's back. Baseball's back.
I see what BBD was going for with the play this one first.
We'll play
then
his
jump into
second one also.
Okay. TD, he's in the chat right now.
TD again. Fuck.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Yeah, I see what we were going for. I messed up the whole thing. I also didn't give you the Patreons for this show. So, tough start.
Spring training. But
Well,
it's not.
This episode of Talking Yanks brought to you by Adam, Willie Vanilli, Epifanio Sosa, Rory Corrigan, Mark Schilstrom, Paul Schreiber, and Michael Morgan. Mike Morgan, thank you. Those are our most recent Patreon supporters. I appreciate that. Yeah, TD, I will say this. And I love the baseball's back. I love the take that Cole he didn't have great stuff, but his C+ stuff is very good. So I agree with you. I don't think he sucked, but he was, I get sentiment there. We're being hyperbolic. I do that a lot as well. Baseball's fine.
For now.
I mean, this isn't going to cancel it. You're going to need 2 more of these or a couple more of these. The owners met. They just said, all right, we got to tighten up these protocols, which is still kind of a joke in itself because the protocols were never tight. So it was nuts. And anyone that listens to our shows, I've been saying it nonstop. They agreed to these. They don't make sense. There's no way to play baseball and adhere to safety protocols the way they're doing it. 0 chance. So, as soon as stuff like this happens, you're going to look at the protocols with the new eyes. But I've been looking at them with those eyes the whole time, telling you this doesn't add up. Yeah. None of this actually helps not spread corona. It's all bad. And the worst thing is that the Phillies and the Marlins just shrugged and said, nah, we're good. We'll play. You can't let the players make that decision.
No. That's so bad. You can't let the players make the decision. And Garrett Cole's really good, and that's huge and a big part for this team. Only 75 pitches, complete game. How long ago does that feel now? Yeah, man, I don't know. I think you're just going to see, opening day happened, and it was exciting. There was the rainstorm, and then this weekend kicked into gear, and it was full on like baseball. It was the opening weekend of baseball. It felt like it. It was nice. Guys are having fun on the field. I think you're going to see a little less, I think during a couple guys' home runs, you saw some high-fiving and stuff. I think this Marlins scare is going to really put it into players we can't mess around because our testing is 2 days behind.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to do it. If they continue playing, they're not going to be able to be safe. Just think of it's an airborne disease.
Yeah.
It's silly. That ump put on his mask to go talk with Shelton in the Pirates-Cardinals game with the argument. The ump's not wearing a mask when he's 2 feet away from the catcher and 3 feet away from the batter, but he puts on the mask to go talk to Shelton. It's everything is just, you're either there or you're not there. There's no half measures here, and this plan is built on half measures.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you get into it. I mean, with team flight accommodations and all of it. Yeah, I mean, they have not set it up as the safest measures possible. We would have instant testing. We would have, private planes that only the teams use. Not everybody has that. So it looks like it popped out. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, I mean, there's going to be more cases going forward.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm just saying, what are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, in theory, if this went according to plan, I think yesterday the Phillies announced that they have 3 players the Marlins have 3 players that got COVID, and they're sent away from the team. That didn't happen, and would that have been a headline? Yes, but it would not have been the headline it has become today.
Yeah, and the Reds are looking scary,
that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah, it's all scary. All right, let's just move on. Let's have some fun. Go to the hair policy, I guess.
Hey, JOMBOY Jay. This is Bill from Round Rock. Baseball's back. Hell yeah. Super exciting. One thing I've noticed out of these Yankees coming out of quarantine is that they have some good, healthy flow coming out behind their Yankee cap. It's not something I'm used to seeing as a Yankee fan, and maybe it's just the post-quarantine Corona look, and maybe it'll go away. But I kind of want to get your opinion on what you think about that. And glad you guys are doing well. Baseball's back. Let's go Yanks.
Is anyone breaking the hair policy? You're allowed to have long hair, right? You're allowed to have the hair that Cole and Canely have.
Right. We haven't seen a ton of it through the years. Colin Canley got some borderline flow/mullets going on. I mean, is there an official rule? Is it to the shoulders? Like, is it just whatever Steinbrenner used to yell about? Because I feel like that's all the old stories you hear on the broadcast is like, oh yeah, Steinbrenner saw his hair one day and said, you better get that cut. And so I got my hair cut. I feel like there's so many stories that are like that. So I don't.
Well, there's
I
the
don't know.
CeCe and Clint story when Clint had his long hair when he first got traded. How long was it? I got to look it up. And they weren't making
flow.
They weren't making him cut it. And CeCe was like, "Hey, if you're not going to make him cut that hair, I'm going to grow out my beard." And it got loud.
Right. I mean, Clint had some real hair.
Yeah. See, was it like that when he was with the Yankees?
I don't think it was that long. I'm guessing it was that long, which
Is similar to Cole.
yeah, I'd say a little longer.
I saw also it's Cole. I don't know. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't see Cole's hair or Canley's hair and think, "Wow, they've relaxed the policy."
Yeah.
I don't think they're really touching the limits of that. Because didn't Phil Hughes used to have that hockey helmet flow?
Little hockey hair. BBD with a screen turn.
Yeah, that's what we were looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's still a bit longer, and it's red, so it's just bright.
Yeah, it stands out.
No,
a
that's
little
bigger
more.
than what Canley has right now. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that these guys grew, Canley might have grew his hair out because he couldn't get a haircut. I did too.
Yeah, I'm kind of fine with the hair stuff. Have hair.
I just don't think that either of them are testing the boundaries of the policy.
Yeah.
All right. Next up.
Hey guys, Matt calling from Jersey. Just watching the Yankees bullpen game here against DC, the Nationals. One thing that came to mind is I don't understand why they brought in David Hale in the fourth inning. He's not one of their top relievers, and the middle of the order coming up, only to use Ottavino the next inning doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. If you're gonna in a one-run game, don't you bring in one of your top arms when it's still close as opposed to going one of your lower-end guys? Let me know what you guys think. Thanks.
Hey, Matt from New Jersey. It's a phenomenal question. And if you listen to the Talkin' Yanks pregame show, it's got its own app. It's live on a bunch of places. We did on the weekends. We do it on Instagram. Jake and I mapped out every pregame show we do pitching path to victory. What's their plan today? And there was one inning unaccounted for in that game. We knew Lasagna was going to go. We knew Chad was going to go. We knew Otto was going to go. We knew Canley was going to go. We knew Britton was going to go. We did the math on how many innings can you get out of those five guys, and at max, it was 8 innings. So on the pregame show, we did a whole conversation. Who's going to fill that gap? Is it going to be Hale? Is it going to be Holder? And those are the two guys that we said it's going to be Hale or Holder. It was Hale. Now, I don't like them going to Hale before Chad because it was a 1-0 game or a 2-0 game when Johnny Lazes comes out. It's 1-0, right? Yeah, it's 1-0 game when Johnny Lasagna comes out. If you're going to go to Hale, if you're going to go to Chad, if you're going to go to Otto, it's a close game. You know you're using those guys today anyway. Put them in and hope the Yankees give you a big lead. Then you can put Hale in with a breath of fresh air for that one inning and then go to Canley, Otto, Britton after Hale. And also, you can make it so Hale doesn't have to face the heart of the order and can face the bottom half of the order instead of using Hale against the good guys and Otto against the bottom. It didn't make any sense to me. I think what happened was when Lasagna was getting into trouble in the last, or if Lasagna got into trouble in his last inning, they were going to have Hale come in halfway through the inning. So Chad, Canley, Britton, and Ottavino all got a clean inning, and Hale was the only one that came in the middle of an inning. And then, since he was up anyway, Lasagna gets out of the inning. Since Hale was warmed up anyway, they just put him in the next inning. But I agree with you, Matt. I think it was a bad strategy, and Hale got roughed up a little bit. Thank God it didn't matter, but yes, I agree. There was one inning where they had to use Holder or Hale to get through the plan, which again I think is a dumb plan from the start to pencil in the opener day this early. And I 100% agree. Didn't make any sense to me either.
Yeah, my only caveat to that is that I do think the Yankees had a potential dream world plan where they could sneak that extra inning out of the good guys. Like if Ottavino came in and had a 11-pitch inning, throw him out there for the next and try to get 2 out of them or 1.2. Or if Canely had a really clean inning, try to sneak 2 out of them. So I think that could have been a Yankees dream world if they had like a 1-run lead or something like that and see if one of those guys got hot for a day. But yeah, there seemingly was a missing inning, and they lined it up for David Hale, who pitched the day before. And I think you need to think of some 30-man stuff when it comes to this that I think Yanks are going to burn out guys like David Hale, who they could potentially lose in 2 weeks. They would rather double down on a Hale, who could be out of the organization in a week and a half, than one of the other guys that should be sticking with the team through the 60-man. So you're right, and we said the same thing in the office. We were hoping that after Loaizaga, who had a nice performance, made the one mistake to Trey Turner, we thought they'd be going to Chad after that. They went Hale to Otto to Chad. Ended up working out. But, yeah, no, we had the same question marks, and I think it does tie mostly into, like, they're going to use David Hale until the day they have to get down to 26 men.
I'm fine with them using Hale for an inning there. I just think the strategy around it can be better.
Yeah, you'd ideally, there's a higher percentage chance that David Hale can lose the game there, and then it's all of a sudden it's 3-0 or something like that. Instead, it was 2-0. Yanks fought back. But, yeah, we did not love the decision.
Hey guys, it's Chris. I was just wondering if you guys thought the same thing I did. Is it just me, or is it that the moment Rob Manfred came on the program for the Nationals-Yankees game, that it was rained out? I don't know. That just seems like a sign to me, and that he's destined to be fired as the commissioner. he's terrible. All right, go Yanks.
Yes, that was really funny. He looked so evil with the lightning strike behind him. I'm starting to have sympathy for Manfred. Just today, everyone coming at him about this policy and stuff, like the owners and the lawyers wrote this. Manfred grabbed the bundle of papers, walked it over to Tony Clark. This is what our guys want. Tony Clark walked it to the players. They all said, yes, that sounds good. Those are the safety protocols we agree to. Tony Clark said, okay, or Manfred said, okay, thank God. It's like, dude, like, he's terrible at talking. Every time Manfred talks, he says the wrong thing, and he's just an embarrassment, and he's bad at being the face. But, like, I'm starting to get sympathy for him, which is wrong, because it's like, I don't want him to be the dumping ground, because he's just the face. He's bad at being the face. He's not actually making these decisions.
Yes, to a degree, I know what you're saying. At the same time, I'm a big believer in organizations being run top down. Just from ownership down, and you're right. Like, is Rob Manfred making every decision that happened and a lot of the notes and stuff during the quarantine and how players should be tested for COVID? No. He leaves that in other people he trusts hands, but that's also a reflection to him. And clearly, Rob Manfred pushes messages down to people. And what you're saying is, and what you've been saying all along, is that, the testing kind of sucks. Like, the plan's no good.
I don't think there's a good, I think the only plan that's good is don't play baseball.
Right. And I mean, that leads into a whole nother discussion. I think there could be more stuff in the plans between rapid testing and other things.
But they don't exist.
To have a better, they do. Rapid testing does exist. It's just like, it's hard to access and probably costs more. I think that was part of the decision.
Does it actually exist?
We had other leagues, yes. There are rapid tests out there.
How quick do you get the results?
I think it's like 15 minutes.
There's no way that exists.
Yeah. Am I talking out my ass, David?
Rapid tests exist. No doctor. I don't know.
None of us are, for the record.
Yes. I'm not sure there's like enough that they can give the league access to all of them.
Right.
Or a bunch of them.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they were doing for soccer. I don't know. I don't know all the stuff around it. I'm just saying, if this whole thing falls apart, I mean, who do you think's taking the blame. I think it's Manfred and Tony Clark, guys who had kind of bad reputations before this in the baseball world. And I don't know. We'll see. You're right. It's a tough spot. And, playing baseball itself is not safe. But, yeah, man, I don't know. I feel like there's... Don't you have a leadership quote from Remember the Titans?
Attitude reflect leadership, Captain.
So it doesn't fit, but still like it.
Because Manfred's not a leader. He's
the
definition of a follower.
Right.
I guess his job to just follow what other people tell him to do. I'm reading about rapid testing now. I wonder if it's real. I won't trust it. If rapid testing exists and they're not using it, that's crazy. I don't think it exists on the major level yet. I have no idea.
We don't know. We have some people in the chat talking about it. Google it on your own and get your thoughts on it. But it is around.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
What's up, boys? Jordan from Boston. Rain delay, first game of the season, so I figured I'd call in. My question is, how much of a leash do you think they're giving Andujar with the right field or left field, first base, third base kind of thing? If he makes an error, a costly error in games 5 or 6 in left field or first base, how many times do you think they're going to keep going back to him before they say, hey, you're just a DH? With the 60-game season, it has to be pretty short in my mind. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks. Go Yanks.
I think he'd have to look really, really bad in left field. I think versus a lefty pitcher, he's the left fielder. And then hopefully he can be adequate enough until Stanton is healthy enough to play left field, and then you can DH Andujar, if that ever is the case. If he looks awful and Talkman starts swinging a good bat, then Talkman becomes the left fielder versus lefty pitchers, because remember, his splits are really good. But, I think he'll get run out there. I think he'd have to, he can botch a play. It's just how bad does he look? Is it inexperience? Is it just like a mix-up? Is it just straight bad? You know what I mean? I don't know. I think they want him good, so I think they might give him a little longer leash than you'd expect. It also becomes if he's hitting or not.
Yeah, here's my thing. If Miguel Andujar is in the lineup, it's for his bat. Doesn't matter where he's playing. And when you start mentioning left fielders and Miguel Andujar being the starting against left fielders, I think I pumped the brake there a little bit, because what was also a part of that day, yes, absolutely bench Gardy against lefties. You will have no argument against us. Use him as a late inning defensive guy, sure. Mike Talkman raked against lefties last year. He had a 974 OPS against lefties and 70 at-bats. So it's a smaller sample, but it's a sample. Mike Talkman can hit lefties, and he's special defensively. Aaron Hicks also had an off day on Sunday. So I think, this goes back to this original kind of one of the main conversations of the offseason. It's Andujar and Talkman, whoever swinging the bat better at the time. If it's close, I still think they're going to lean Talkman. Early in the season, they're going to want to get Andujar going because they do like Andujar. And then it goes to the end of the conversation that you just talked about. It's, what does Andujar's bat look like? Is it he's just not great at getting to balls bad? Or is it oh no.
Yeah.
He's struggling out there bad. So I think we need to see more of a sample. It's still so early in this crazy season, and they do want to get the guys out there to see who's got it, to put them in the lineup if they do have it. But yeah, Andujar is going to get a shot, and also who's pitching that day? Is Jay Happ on the mound? Because I think if it's Jay Happ, I think you're going to have Hicks Talkman. If it's Garrett Cole, that leaves more room to put Andujar out there.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I think they want Andujar to
Although
find
Cole's
a home.
got big fly ball numbers too. He just strikes out every other person.
I think they want to find Andujar home.
They want to get him ABs.
Yeah. Next.
Hey, John Boy, Jake, and BBD. This is Sean calling from Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta.
Ooh, put it
surprised
on the
you
map.
got that one on the list. I'm calling to see what you guys think the chances are of Garrett Cole pitching a no-no this year. I was looking on Baseball Reference, and he's never played against Baltimore that I could tell. I think he's got a pretty good chance against them. Let me know what you guys think. Enjoying the show. Can't wait to hear. Bye.
You can take a crack.
I love the heart.
Thank you, Sean.
I love the heart behind it. Shout out Saskatchewan. No, that's Saskatchewan. Go watch Grown Ups. Not in theaters. Not an ad either. Just like the movie.
Watch Jumanji.
Watch Jumanji while you're there at the theaters. Not playing either movie. I'd say it's what, 50-50 Cole throws a no-no this year? No, it's
I love Yankee fans,
it's
man.
a near impossible ask if Garrett Cole will throw a no-hitter in his 13 starts this season, 12 more to go. And by the way, the Orioles can hit. The hitting's not really their problem.
More. What's the higher chances? Garrett Cole throws a no-hitter, or Mike Ford hits those 10 home runs we had a caller say?
Ooh. I mean, I'd almost lean Mike Ford 10 home runs. Just
the Mike Ford caller.
Somebody gets hurt and Mike Ford plays well. Yeah.
The Mike Ford caller put the over-under on Ford home runs in the 60-game season at 10.
10.
I don't think we talked about how preposterous that was at the time.
Hey, man. Mike Ford batting 1,000.
Oh.
Tyler Wade batting 1,000.
Tyro.
I mean, my squad, basically.
Yeah.
my crew. Garrett Cole, he's going to have some really nice games. Please don't expect a no-hitter. How funny would it be if he threw one next start? We would look back at this and just be like, Garrett.
It's just exciting, excited Yankee fans, man. Like, I can't even imagine, like, I think he can get a no-hit. Like, come on. Come on. Just, that's the expectation.
I, too, think he can get one.
The expectations are crazy.
Would there be something fun with, like, a Garrett's ferret? Like, maybe not a live animal, but maybe a puppet?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's something fun about that. I don't know what it is.
Fun. I was going to say guys having it in the dugout, but then you're probably passing a ferret around, and I feel like that's against the player protocol, so we'll see. Maybe go live ferret with it.
Maybe shrink a ferret, put it inside the rosin bag.
Shrink and a live ferret, put it in Garrett's personal rosin bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an idea.
Call it Garrett's ferret bag.
We'll talk about that later.
Jimmy, Jake, what's up? New listener, this is Uncle Toph from South Carolina.
Boom!
It is Thursday. It is the afternoon leading up to opening day. Just saw the 30-man roster. Have to say, I'm near Columbia, South Carolina, University of South Carolina Gamecocks. A little disappointed to not see Clark Schmidt on the 30-man, but I think we're probably going to see him at some point this season. Your reaction? And Jake, I just wanted to see if there's any updates to your favorite hand sanitizer and or your favorite hard seltzer. Good job, BBD. Go Yankees!
It's a deep cut.
Some good questions.
Jake's Q&A on Patreon. No one else is allowed to know. Inside joke for patrons only.
Subscribe to Patreon.
Thank you for calling. Now, my original answer is, yeah, Clark got snubbed. It's really just paperwork because he's not on the 40-man roster, and they're probably trying to wait out some injuries. And then as soon as there's an opening, put him on there. But Paxton going 1 inning. Would have been nice to have Clark. Paxton going 1 inning and choosing to go with the opener. I hate that they chose to go with the opener. It doesn't make any sense to me. There's so
Rested the bullpen today.
Today? Yeah. Thank you, Marlins.
Yeah. BBD. BBD with a big exhale from that. Clark Schmidt's going to be on this team.
He's going to be on the team, but yeah,
I think it was 7 games or 7 days until he could come up.
Service high-wise?
Yes.
I keep yawning. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. Let those out. And here's all you need to know. Like, Clark Schmidt is a much better major league pitcher right now than Luis Avalon. Sorry, Avalon. I know you're a new fan to the show. But again, just the Yankees abuse the rules to the best of their degrees. They get 30 people on this roster. Right now, they have Luis Avalon on there. They just added, deep cuts. Guys that might have a future with the Yankees. Nick Nelson actually looked really good in summer camp. Could be a potential bullpen arm down the line. I think he was pumping 98. They called up Brooks Kriske. Another guy who could be a potential bullpen arm for the Yankees down the line. Why they got called up because of Clark instead of Clark Schmidt is the Yankees have hopes that Clark Schmidt could be a mainstay in their rotation for the next 5-6 years, and that way If they hold him back for literally the first week and a half of games, then hopefully when Clark Schmidt is a borderline all-star pitcher, we have another year of him on our team.
Yeah.
So, it's tough, and again, the process is pretty messed up. Like, the further we get into the world of baseball, like how much we hear guys care about service time. Like, I think everyone we've interviewed on Talkin' Baseball knew their service time to the day.
To the day. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Didn't someone
Neil Walker. He was
Neil,
like,
yeah.
he was like, I'm 7 days away from 10 years of service time.
And again, that's something.
And Trev was like, yeah, that's a big deal.
That's something.
Like, he clapped for him. He was like, oh, that's fucking awesome, Neil. I was like, oh, shit.
As a fan, you'd never think of that, but players have it ready to go.
10 years is when they get the max benefits and stuff. So
pension plan.
Pension plan. So, yeah, Clarkie will be up. He looked good. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Chapman's going to come back at some point. Sessa's going to come back at some point. Clark Schmidt. I mean, it's going to be
so seven games. So if Paxton,
I think so.
If Paxton's bad again and the velo's terrible and all that, by the time Paxton's next start comes around, they can potentially wiggle some things and have Schmidt as the backup plan.
You could wiggle it, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, not bad.
Tanaka should be coming back at some point. There's going to be a funny day.
That's exciting.
Looking at the original 30-man to what the 26-man roster
yeah,
looks
and we're
like.
basically 5 seconds away from being
5, 4, 3,
8-man.
2, 1. Week away, yeah.
Hey, Jake and Jimmy, how's it going, guys? In BBD. This is Mike from California calling in Orange County. So I just wanted to ask a question. As far as the runner on second base goes in the 10th inning, say there's a pass ball or a pickoff move that gets overthrown and the runner scores. Is this considered an earned run?
Oh, no, they're acting as if that run got on by an error.
Good question.
What's up, John Boy and Jake? It's Nathan from Newtown, the 203.
Wow.
I left a voicemail earlier in the week, but my question was stupid. I answered it. It was easy. So I'm asking you guys, after watching these first 2 or 3 games, do you guys think the ball is juiced like last year?
Love it.
Because there's a lot of home runs that look like fly balls, so I'm thinking it might be. Just let me know what you guys think. All right, love the show, guys. Peace.
Oh, sorry to disagree with you, my Newtown buddy. There was a lot of hard hit balls that I thought just died. I don't know about Yankee games, but when I was flipping around games, there were some I thought that just died. I think the ball is dejuiced.
The Yankees' data points are messed up because of Giancarlo Stanton.
Well, his are hitting.
I mean, you hit 483. I mean, he has the ability to do that. It makes you wonder. I said this last year. I'll say it again, and I was very happy to admit it after. I need to see more. I mean, the balls Glaber and Voit hit were very real in the game after that. Giancarlo's hitting moon balls. I feel like around the league there hasn't been a lot of noise about it, which makes me think the balls are dejuiced. But I'd like to see a little bit more of a body of work on it.
I tweeted out some video. I forget what it was. And the replies, maybe it was from Talkin' Baseball. But I forget. But they were like, well, those are home runs last year. And I totally agreed. Like, off the bat, they just looked like bombs last year. Forget what it was. But, yeah, I think, and obviously, we need to see much more. But so far, everything was a home run last year.
Yeah.
Like, when you start to think about some of those Oppo home runs last year, they're crazy.
And some of the rumors we've heard about baseballs, don't be surprised if there's a mix.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't we see... Who did we see? I think it was a Yankees game. I think it was someone on the Nats. They got a ball and sent it away.
All of them. Paxton did it. Cole does it.
It was there was 2 strikes, and the pitcher very clearly wanted to throw a curveball, and they got the ball, and they just went, nope.
Yeah. Paxton was doing a lot. Didn't help him much, but
yeah, he had a lot going on.
Cole does it. Yeah. I think they're dejuiced, but I'm open to have that changed.
Let's see.
Hey guys, this is Nick from Virginia. I pretty much spent most of my life living in Maryland and Virginia, and
DMV.
Grew up hating the Masson broadcast, so glad you guys agree with that. Here's my question, basically. I've noticed that Judge is pulling everything, his foul balls, every ball he hits basically is pulling. I don't want to flip-flop on him too hard because I know people were getting on him for going the other way too much last year. But like, I kind of want to hear you guys' take on what you guys think. Maybe his like timing's just a little bit off or something. I don't know. Just wanted to hear about your thoughts about Judge. Thanks. Have a good one, guys.
What do you got, Tim?
Judge, I saw people saying like Judge is broken. I don't remember any specific at bats in games 2 and 3 that made me like really like, oh, that was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because I think I don't know. I think people just want to overanalyze Judge a little bit, but do you guys remember being like, oh, that was terrible?
He was pulling a lot of stuff foul. I don't think I remember looking at anything and being like, oh, that was terrible. I think Judge's approach, I think pitchers have been kind of challenging him inside with fastballs.
Yeah.
And I think what surprises people about Aaron Judge is he can turn on those. A lot of men his size cannot. And so I think, with the injuries and stuff, I think pitchers have been kind of trying him. And he had that one line drive that was right at the left fielder yesterday. If he was a couple centimeters down on that one, I think that was out of the park easily. In the book, it goes as an out. But, yeah, we kind of – and, yeah, man, it's the Aaron Judge story. He's just going to be overanalyzed because we kind of haven't seen the Aaron Judge opposite field home run yet, which is also a signature of his. So, I don't know. People just overthink it. If he gets a pitch away, he can drive to the opposite field. He will do that. If he gets a pitch in that he can handle and get his hands to run, he will turn on it. He's a beast.
He struck out, grounded out to third, flied out to left field, and then struck out swinging in game 2, and then a ground ball double play to end the game. In game 3, but I there's at-bats I remember being upset about from other players, maybe ground out to shortstop, ground out to second base, and then he struck out, and then he lined out to left field. That's what you're talking about. It's a pretty hard hit.
Yeah. And
I don't know.
On Sunday, Corbin had literally everybody's number. His one at bat against someone not named Corbin, he hit a bullet to left field.
Not named Glaber.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll wait and see.
It's not unreasonable for him to just not have his timing yet either. It's the first series of the year.
It's early.
And it was an extra long off season, and he had the injury stuff, so his timing could just be off.
It's just,
and they have good pitchers.
He's fine.
People are going to overanalyze forever.
Last voicemail.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Nick from Philly. I have a quick situational question for you. All right, bottom 9, 2 outs, World Series game, bases loaded, down 1. Who would you rather have up, Stanton or Mike Ford? Thanks, guys. Love the show.
Depends if Ford's pinch hitting or just up.
It's like that should be. Is that a video game character yet? Pinch hit Mike Ford?
Yeah.
Should be.
You pinch hit Mike Ford for Stanton.
Maybe if it was like a righty sidewinder, it's a discussion. But outside of that.
Over under 10 home runs, 60 games.
That's true. Let's see the Mike Ford show play out.
Over under 10 home runs, Stanton, 60 games.
Mike Ford just hits. Oh, it's over.
He's got 2 already.
Stanton's great. It looks really good.
I'll take Stanton, unless it's pinch hit Mike Ford. He's got the Ibanez factor. Ibby.
He's just happy. Just there.
Just there. It's going to be tough on these.
Throw a fastball while I'm pitch hitting.
It's going to be tough.
Let's see what happens.
It's going to be tough for these guys when they have to get down to 28 and then down to 26.
Yeah. That's going to be a fun game. I can't believe we're a week away from 2-8.
Close. I mean, it's going to come quick. It's because I think 40's last guy. Well, Tyro probably is the worst, less than him.
Tyro.
There will be injuries.
Drop a pitcher.
Yeah, you can drop 1 pitcher, right?
Yeah.
They brought 13.
I think so.
You have 5.
And you're going to have fresh bodies coming up, and they're going to use
so many extra bench guys right now. I think they're only going to cut bench guys.
They can. It's a possibility. I think what the Yankees want to do,
well, they have to have 4 bench guys.
I think what the Yankees want to do is they can use the guys like Nick Nelson and Brooks Kriske.
They just rotate all those pitchers.
They've got options that they can have that as an extra pitcher and just send them up and down the bus.
Yeah, but if they're just dropping 2 guys, maybe Tyro and a pitcher.
I'd lean that way.
That's what I'd lean to.
I wouldn't be surprised. They could get rid of hitters, but
I think they still have like 6 extra hitters right now, which is
it's crazy.
After dropping Clint the other day.
It's a lot. I just think they'd rather have the pitchers just ride the bus and use that as normal work. But
All right. I think that's all we got.
Wow.
Did that go fast? Slow?
Nobody's thinking about Paxton, huh?
45 minutes? We're good there. I mean, I messed up a lot at the beginning, so I
Wow.
apologize for that.
Damn.
Head wasn't in the game.
No calls on Paxton.
That is interesting, huh?
Yankee fans kind of don't love Paxton. Like the generic, like the dude who works our building saw Paxton's, like when I walked into the building yesterday.
Vic?
He was like, Paxton doesn't have it. It's like they forgot how good he was down the stretch, man.
I remember being upset with him more than I remember being happy with him.
Right, and if you look at the books, that's kind of not how it went down last year.
That's because he rarely feels fun.
Yeah.
Because you're just clenched butt cheek because he gives first inning woes, man.
Yeah. And you know what they say. First inning woes on your nose.
There it
Wiggle your
goes.
toes and let it go.
Bye, guys.
The James Paxton
Go
story.
Yanks. Tell them Grams.
Sharp
Go
stats
Yankees.
coming. Woo!